They're all my favorite. They're all favorite. I helped my mother-in-law gather material for years. One day she handed me the stuff. She said, "Here, you better start learning this." Different places you go to gather things. Some places you go way up on the hill, like your grass. Hazel sticks are the deal. You gather those different places, different times of the year. You have to get the slender hazel stick. Gathering time for each process. And then like when the river comes up, then you wait till it goes down, then you gather the roots deal. And that all has to be separated all out into sections that you can use. The red dye used to have to go certain alder trees you get the red from, and then you strip the bark off and boil it and what have you to get the red. Everything has to be soaked. Everything has to be soaked, and I usually put it on in the morning and maybe about noon before. You know, everything has to be wet, otherwise they just break up and they don't bend. That's why I have this deal, because I have to soak everything, and then I use different things like walnut shells. Each project takes a little bit different process to go through. My hands just go, and I don't have any thought in my mind yet to what I'm going to make. After you make so many, you just do it. I mean, and of course you have to like count so it comes out even all the way around, and count and then separate the pattern out like that. And then when you come to it, then you work the pattern in. It's amazing, really, the colors that you can come out with, or the things you can do, things you can make with your hands. Well, for me, it's really trying to keep the traditions alive.
Well, I just thought I'd take a minute here when we want to finish this bowl and talk about it a little bit. Some of the viewers that I'll send this link to will have a little bit different design. I used 3 black ones into here instead of 2, and sometimes I do that just because, in fact, I have a ring here that I had set up to do 2, and then I decide, well, we'll do 3, and I think that basket makers did the same thing back in the day. They decided I need to change it up a little bit. I made this a little wider than some of the other ones. How I got to this point to be able to make these designs and to come up with all the angles of literally just taking some sticks. And as I watched my grandmother and my mother, or if you've ever seen a basket maker use sticks, they'll have a bundle of sticks in our basket makers, would have willow sticks and maidenhair fern and porcupine quills and various other things and color them, and they went through the whole process through the same thing. When I look at my materials, I literally have sticks. I take boards and make sticks out of them and get them down to a very small piece. This is one of the pieces that would have fit right into here. So all of these small pieces are glued together, put together in order, in some order, to come out with a bowl that comes out there. So whether I have a piece of Padook, this is Padook, and this is what I have available. Put a top on top of this that'll look like this. I put some angles into it and put a little different design into there, and I'd had that on the top. I had that on the top, it was smaller, and I just didn't care for it at all. It wasn't the right design. I actually took it to the bandsaw and cut it off. And then when I put the design of this ring on top of this one, originally it actually sat right on top of this design here, and there was no space in between this ring and this design. So once I made that one and looked at it, I went, that's not good. That's not a final one. So I actually put a 1/4 inch ring in between into there. That whole design process to come up with this probably took me a week and maybe up to 2 weeks, not counting the research and things I've done on the internet and with my own collection of what we had and my memory of it. So that when I get done with it, I feel like my dad used to say, well, that looks like somebody did it. That's kind of how I feel. It looks like somebody did it. So when I get done with one, it feels like I should make another one and whatever, because I enjoy the design, I enjoy this process, but then I look forward to making the next one. And I think about that it's probably, I know when my mother was making them, she would just change the design a little bit. She's like, she said, I used to tell her, well, you know, the people that buy them or you give them to different people, and they never, probably will never see each other's, and they don't know the difference that you've made 5 of the same designs. And she used to tell me, well, I know the difference. So that's why I changed these up a little bit. It's not